This is Valley News Live at 6.
New tonight at 6, we're learning more about the man accused of strangling and stabbing a teenage girl for over 25 minutes outside of Fargo Strip Mall last Friday.
It happened in the 4300 block of 13th Avenue South near Party City, leaving 14-year-old Jupiter Paulson fighting for her life. 23-year-old Arthur Prince Cauley is charged with attempted murder, robbery, and aggravated assault. Authorities say he told them he doesn't remember the incident, stating he used meth hours before the attack.
Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley dug into Cauley's criminal record today. She joins us live now in the studio with what she uncovered. Bailey?
Andrea, officials say Arthur Cauley was still on probation during last Friday's brutal attack, stemming from charges of another assault back in April 2017, this time on a correctional officer in Mandan, North Dakota, where documents say Cauley struck an officer at the North Dakota Youth Correctional Center multiple times in the face and was later convicted of assault on an officer and disorderly conduct. Now, Cauley was sentenced to 1 year behind bars and placed on supervised probation, which would only be extended after court documents say he had possession of and fired a gun inside his Fargo apartment back in December 2020. Documents say in that case, Fargo police responded to the 4400 block of 9th Avenue Circle South for a single gunshot after neighbors said they also heard yelling and door slamming. When police arrived, they stated Cauley acted dazed or intoxicated and told officers that the loud noise was just him hitting his head. Police later found a rifle, a pistol, and ammunition in Cauley's unit, as well as 2 spent shell casings under Cauley's deck. Now, records also show Cauley has been arrested and convicted twice already this year, once for fighting at Fort Knox in downtown Fargo and then running from police, the other for trespassing at a South Fargo gas station. Now, if Cauley is convicted for last week's stabbing and robbery, he faces over 40 years behind bars. Mike.
All right, thank you so much, Bailey. Cauley's bail has been set at $1 million cash only. Meanwhile, 14-year-old Jupiter Paulson remains at a Fargo hospital tonight. Her father, Robert, tells us earlier today she's likely not going to make it. We just got an update from him who says they've decided to preserve her organs to donate and may be able to save some lives.
Authorities have released the names of 2 people found dead in a Wahpeton home on Friday in what appears to be a murder-suicide. Police say they are 52-year-old Karen Ertel Tawaner and 62-year-old Gregory Zander. It happened around 1027 Ventura Drive. According to the report, the woman called police saying that a man was threatening her with a firearm. Officers heard gunshots and then found them dead in the home. Ertel Tawaner suffered multiple gunshot wounds and Zander had a single gunshot wound.
There's a chance of some stormy weather later tonight, so storm chaser Eric Whitehill headed west. Right now, he's keeping an eye to the sky near Edgeley, which is south of Jamestown. So let's find out from Hutch what's brewing out there. Hutch?
Mike, we're expecting storms to form in that Ellendale, Edgeley area and along the South Dakota border later. There is a risk of severe weather. Let me show you the area highlighted. South central North Dakota, right through the Central Valley, Grand Forks and Fargo in the mix, as is northern Minnesota. What is a slight risk? It's number 2 on a 5-step scale of severe weather. That means a few storms that form tonight could be severe. The main threat will be gusty winds and hail with these storms as we go through the overnight. In fact, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for you in Crookston, and in the next few minutes, this storm will be pushing in. You see the blob of pink here? That's a hail core, and it looks to be in Crookston in the next few minutes and during the main weather cast. Here is a 3D look at the storm, and when you see these cells lofting hailstones up where you see the pinks here elevated, it's going to be delivering some hail for some time. So as it moves over Crookston, 1-inch diameter hail is quite possible. Put the vehicle in the garage. A new warning just issued as I speak for a warning near Eureka for this thunderstorm that is rapidly developing not far from where Eric Whitehill is right now, keeping his eye on those storms. Early this afternoon, because of the heat and the humidity down near Aberdeen, those storms have a lot of fuel to work with. They'll be the most volatile tonight, and as they track to the north and east, the weather will continue to be pretty rough and tumble right through the overnight hours. Fargo's best chance will be after sunset and likely maybe even after midnight in many locations, as we'll see storms all night long for some of us. We'll track them. We'll tell you when they'll be in your neighborhood. They will bring beneficial rain. We're just hoping for the hailstones to be limited.
I hear you. Thanks.
On Friday, we told you that it was so hot outside that roads started to heave. Well, today, crews have been working to make repairs, including along Bishops Boulevard in Fargo. They hope to be done here by late afternoon tomorrow. Due to the record-breaking heat over the weekend, 4 major Fargo streets heaved under the extreme temperatures.
A woman gave us a call wanting us to look into a lack of air conditioning in her apartment. She said she had been submitting maintenance requests to her property manager to get her air conditioning fixed since May. She says the repairs weren't made during this weekend's triple-digit temps, and she, her fiance, and 2 cats had to suffer through the weekend.
I'm fed up. I've tried calling. I don't know what else to do. I'm sick of this issue with all these apartment complexes in Fargo.
Here's the good news. After we spoke with Mishnik, she says that an outside contractor finally delivered a new AC unit. Now, that story was submitted to us through our whistleblower hotline. And if you need help uncovering issues in your community, call 701-237-6576 and leave your tip. We'll do our best to get to the bottom of it.
We now know the name of the man who was found dead in the Red River on Saturday. Police say the body of 33-year-old Dane Sayers was pulled from the river. It was in the area near Riverside Cemetery. They are awaiting the results of his autopsy.
A Michigan man will spend over a decade in jail for bringing drugs into North Dakota. Mario Garmue was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. Garmue was caught in Fargo with nearly 100 oxycodone pills and nearly a pound of marijuana in his car back in 2019. Investigators found that he had distributed hundreds of those pills, mostly in and around the Fort Berthold Indian Reservation area.
A contractor from Fergus Falls will pay $1.75 million in damages for using unauthorized materials in federally funded road projects. The U.S. District Attorney's Office in Minnesota says Mark Sand and Gravel is accused of violating federal and state false claims acts. The DA alleges the company worked on 3 projects near Detroit Lakes between 2013 and 2015 and failed to follow their contract. They say the company used unauthorized materials like waste and shale rock in place of gravel and lied to the federal government about it.
Hundreds or so of so-called water protectors gathered in northern Minnesota today to protest construction of Enbridge's Line 3 pipeline. Construction on the pipeline resumed last week. Hundreds traveling from around the country are calling for Minnesota officials and President Joe Biden to shut down Line 3 pipeline to protect treaties, water, and climate. The multi-billion-dollar pipeline would run right between 3 reservations near Bemidji. Line 3 carries Canadian crude from Alberta. It clips a corner of North Dakota on its way across northern Minnesota to Enbridge's terminal in Superior, Wisconsin.
North Dakota's only Down Syndrome Achievement Center is serving families once again after their building was destroyed in a fire last month. Gigi's Playhouse received the keys to their new temporary location this afternoon. They are currently providing free services to about 190 people. Their Rebuild the Playhouse Fund is going strong and still taking donations. If you would like to help, go to the Gigi's Fargo website.
The Fargo School Board will discuss possible disciplinary actions against a member who didn't adhere to the district's masking policies. A memo filed for tomorrow's meeting says face masks were required as part of the Start Restart plan, and Jennifer Benson didn't comply with the rule on several occasions. School Board President Rebecca Knutson says that she gave Benson opportunities to join the meetings by phone or file for a mask exemption, but she refused those alternatives. It's unclear what consequences or actions could be taken against Benson by the board.
More pools in the area are now open. Later on Valley News Live at 6, where you can go to beat the heat.
And we have storms moving into Crookston as we speak. The largest of the hail potential now moving in from the southwest to northeast on Highway 75. 1-inch diameter hail or so is going to be possible from this storm as it tracks to the north and to the east. We have more storms on the way. I'll have hour-by-hour details in your forecast coming up. Join me, weather.